Hello and welcome to Yeyu Lab. Yes, OpenAI. Today we're taking a careful examination of these wide features released at OpenAI DevDay, which took place in San Francisco this week. Let's first focus on the introduction of GPT-4-Turbo model. Following the initial release of GPT-4 in March of this year, a new preview version of it with the latest GPT-4-Turbo now is available in the API with a specified name, GPT-4 November the 6th preview. A couple of significant benefits will make you immediately change all the model's variables in your running projects. The model brings a nuanced understanding of recent events up until April 2023 and provides an expanded context window of up to 128K. From a cost perspective, it delivers considerable savings, requiring only 1/3 the price for input tokens and a half reduction for output tokens when compared to GPT-4. Notably, GPT-4 Turbo makes more reduction when compared to the processing 32K context. Another attractive feature released is the parallel function calling. Function calling is one of my favorite features, which has never been well implemented by any other models than GPT-6-13. Although various prompting techniques like React are trying to keep the normal models up to that capability, the format of generated content is practically helpful for AI agent app that complete tasks by executing functions or APIs autonomously. The recent update of the feature is trying to allow the model to call more than one function at one time of generation, like what has been listed in OpenAI's documentation. The model can generate multiple calls of a certain weather function of different cities. Meanwhile, from my test, it can also generate multiple calls of multiple functions in your tool definition. See my example. Upgrade your OpenAI packages to the latest version. Predefine two pseudo functions, tweet send and Facebook send, that send messages about the stock price of a stock symbol to X and Facebook. Now let's create tools for these two functions and a user prompt with OpenAI API. The user prompt is to ask the model to send a tweet message and a Facebook message about Tesla's current stock price, one by one. Create the generation with a prompt model name GPT-4 October 6 preview or GPT-3.5 Turbo October 6. That is equipped with parallel function calling capability, and print the calling procedure. Please note that the tool choice set as auto will allow the model to select the tools and sequence by itself. Let's see the output. There are two function calling objects in the output. The first one is tweet send with TLSLA as the argument. The second one is Facebook send with the same argument. So that is what we expected for this feature, which generates two function callings with proper sequence and parameters. When replacing the model name with the previous version GPT-4 6.13, you will find it only has one function call generated. Additionally, the GPT-4 Turbo model introduces the capability of produce Json formatted output. That's another killer function that eliminates tons of additional prompt strategy for building autonomous applications like cognition apps and tagging systems. See my example. Here I create the system prompt to ask the model to generate a response in Json format, which follows the recommendation from OpenAI that even you use JSON object type, you still need to say it in your system prompt. Set the new parameter response manager to the JSON object type, and then ask the model to generate a travel itinerary with necessary categorized information. From the output, you can easily find the JSON structured itinerary, and this will be much more practical than plain text in real AI applications. The new seed parameter merits attention as well. Sometimes when we are developing LLM apps with prompt strategy research and debugging, we probably want the test generation to be less random at the same testing prompts. Here comes the seed parameters. The seed parameter ensure consistent AI outputs, aiding in debugging, unit testing, and enhanced control over model responses. Here is an example. Let's ask the model to generate a 100-word travel block without any other specified instructions, and set a seed with a random number 21. Let's run the program twice. From the output, you can see they all talking about shores of Santorini, and most of the content are the same. It's proved the function is working because it's not possible without seed when they contain the same destination Santorini under such an open instruction travel block. Another huge release is Assistance API, which helps the developers greatly streamline building AI agents in their apps. It provides capabilities like code interpretation, information retrieval, and function calling to automate complex tasks by integrating the process of calling building tools. The concept of thread is another helpful mechanism that allocates the user context for running a single agent. Let's see code interpreter. Generating decent Python code is not an edge competency of a model, but generating Python code and executing it implicitly is another story. It's a wide and practical capability of an AI assistant. OpenAI's first tool, Code Interpreter, is for such a mission that automate code generation, execution, correction, and output formatting in the sandbox environment. In addition to the mass tutor demo in OpenAI's documentation, here is my example, which showcases a more practical demo that's structured data table by using the code interpreter. To start a typical Assistant API project, there are a few essential components you must create. The first one is the assistant. Assistant is the top definition for a certain assistant project, and you should provide a name, instruction, model, and tools to make sure the assistant know what is the role and the mission. Here I use the instruction like you are a data set generator. Please write and run Python code to generate CSV files and provide the output file. And we set the tools, code interpreter, and also the name dataset generator. Then we should set up the thread. A thread is a container that allocates the working environment for a certain context. It's better to create one for each user session in the sandbox. Then we should create your query or message for conversations with the assistant in a certain thread. Here I ask the assistant to generate a travel plan template and save it to a CSV file. Now everything is ready, you can run it. Please note that instruction is not necessary in the run create process. Once the assistant starts running, you can check its status from the run.status, which will be converted from cured from completed. Therefore, we can create a while loop to monitor the status by the retrieval function. Then you can either retrieve all the messages from the list or just the latest messages on the top of the list, which is normally the final response from the assistant. Let's see the execution result of this dataset generator. From its response, you can see it finished the generation and save the output into a template CSV and share me the sandbox, the link to the sandbox of the file. So when you open the file, look like the template CSV has been successfully created and the content is well structured. If you would like to see the source code or interim steps that contribute to the final result, you could retrieve the run steps via run steps list function and search for the steps with type 2 calls for source code. Now let's see the document retrieval. To be honest, this update is devastating for many startup AI companies, since OpenAI themselves has now developed a document chatbot. You can see from their announcement, once a file is uploaded and passed to the assistant, OpenAI will automatically trunk your documents, index and store the embeddings, and implement vector search to retrieve relevant content to answer user queries. Heartbreaking, right? Anyway, let's test it. In this test, I'm using a random technical report of Sapphire 7B beta model to try to ask questions about its content. Firstly, let's upload the PDF file to be retrieved. And just like the code interpreter, we should create a retrieval type of assistant and use the instruction: you are a paper research chatbot. Use your knowledge base to best respond to customer queries. Then create your query message with the file ID that we just uploaded. Here we ask the assistant to answer the question, what training methods that make Sapphire 6B model better than others. In the last step, run it in the sandbox. From the results, you can find that the response is quite correct and relevant, which is around the DPPO training methods that make the model is better than others. So the 20 lines of code have done everything that a lot of commercial services are eager to provide. The good news is that in addition to code interpreter, document retrieval, and function calling, OpenAI is planning to provide more building tools to cover more usage scenario of AI agent projects. Actually, there are more features released from OpenAI DevDay for multimodal APIs like Vision API, which are also attractive and one more step to the application layer of AI development. I will cover them in my next video. That's all for today. For the tutorial and the source code, you can find the link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Keep innovating, and I'll catch you in the next one.